It's noon here in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Kayode Kikulu. Here are the major political stories of this hour. Well, it's a day of nationwide protest by members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and their non-academic staff union counterparts. What they say, their grouse is a non-payment of their salary arrears, and the demand is directed at the federal government. And as the nation awaits what will come out of the minimum wage negotiations by way of a new minimum wage, Labour is asking the National Assembly to end what it describes as slave wage, while lawmakers promise speedy passage of the bill when it comes to them. And INEC to begin delineation of wards in Warri, Delta State, as INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu insists that the exercise must go on in line with the Supreme Court judgment. Hey, welcome to the program. We start off with the nationwide challenge. Well, petrol retailers are blaming the fresh petrol scarcity in the country on what they call supply challenges. And it's a part of the sole importer of the premium commodity, that's the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the NNPCL. The marketers say they have to resort to depot owners to get petrol available at the retail outlets, and what they call the slight increment in the prices of the indispensable product across the country. The national president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, Mr. Billy Gillis Harry, who spoke on behalf of the marketers earlier on Channels Television's Morning Brief Breakfast program, says the statement, which was given by the NNPCL, also paints a picture of the situation, where the NNPCL had blamed logistics and flooding as factors responsible for the fuel scarcity nationwide, as they say that they are working towards ensuring that the bottlenecks are resolved and petrol is available to Nigerians. They also ask motorists to avoid panic buying. Well, let's talk election matters now. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is now ready to begin the implementation of a Supreme Court judgment on fresh delineation of wards and polling units in Warri Federal Constituency. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting at the Government House Annex in Warri, Delta State, the National Commissioner who represented the INEC Chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, insists the exercise must go on as directed by the court. On their part, stakeholders assured the Commission of their support and readiness for the exercise.
This is a meeting between the Independent National Electoral Commission and other stakeholders in the electoral process at the Delta State Government House, Amex Warri, and is to begin the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on fresh delineation of Warri Federal Constituency, comprising Warri South, Warri Southwest, and Warri North local government areas. The resident electoral commissioner for Delta State, who is representing the INEC chairman, says the commission is now ready to commence fieldwork on fresh delineation of the constituency in compliance with the Supreme Court judgment.
I therefore use this opportunity this morning to appeal and encourage our stakeholders, our participants, the political class, the elites, the youth, the women, our royal fathers, government, both at state and local government level, and security agencies, to extend the spirit of brotherhood and peace to all our staff deployed for the field work in the same manner they have related to the commission through the process that has brought us to where we are today.
Following the development, representatives of the traditional rulers expressed readiness to work with INEC during the exercise.
The communities where we exist, where we live, will give you all the necessary support. Provided INEC is not biased. Secondly, we are not security operatives, but we guarantee you safety of lives and property as far as this exercise is concerned. This is what I've come to deliver to you. God bless you.
The Agbara Wari Kingdom, the Okere Urobo Wari Kingdom. I'm also adopting all the positions of these speakers that have spoken so far. We are in total support of everything that they've said. It's a new dawn in our area, and I know this is going to bring development into Wari, development that we have longed for a very, very long time, peace that we have worked for a very, very long time, and to the grace of God in our time, we are going to witness that peace and the development.
Despite some lingering controversy, the federal lawmaker representing the Wari South constituency believes it is a win-win situation for everyone, while INEC insists the exercise must go on as ordered.
We acknowledge our people, our fathers, our mothers, our father back home, to ensure that this exercise is carried on and carried out in a very, very peaceful manner.
We have come a long way. INEC is ready, and I think that the three national ethnic groups, they are ready. Sometimes one can voice out, his mind, but as at now, we are ready.
Over 50 people comprising technical officers and support staff from the INEC National Headquarters and State Office are already around and set to move into the 3 local government areas to begin field work this month.
And now to the ongoing political impasse in Rivers State. Well, the Martin Amiwuli-led Rivers State House of Assembly is asking the Rivers State government to look into the plight of public schools in the state and take over the running of the Kalabari Girls High School. The House made this known during plenary earlier today, during the passage into law of the Rivers State Education Return of Schools Amendment Bill 2024 at the Assembly quarters in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The sponsor of the bill, Tekena Wellington from Asari Toro 1, said the reason for the bill is to improve female education in the constituency. For a second day, the State Assembly led by Martin Amiwuli continues to sit, while the one led by the Okojumbo group also sitting.
Yesterday we Kalabari Girls High School was erroneously given to mission to manage, but in the year 2005, and we have been battling with it because that was the only female secondary school in my constituency. And when it was erroneously given to the Catholic, the mission to manage, the mission abandoned it because it was an indigenous school. And since 2005 till date, we had suffered. We met stakeholders of Kalabari, stakeholders of Asari Toro, met with the former governor of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Ezenwonye Sewike, and compassionately he swung into action, and the school was renovated, and he even extended it. Now, since then until now, the school has just been there with all the furnitures, and we cannot allow that school to go like that. That's why I pleaded that I sponsor bill to amend so that the school go back to government.
And now to the Okojumbo-led State Assembly. Yesterday, Governor Fubara has actually put in office Barrister Emmanuel Frank Fubara, who was screened and confirmed as a commissioner by the Victor Okojumbo-led State Assembly. The swearing ceremony was held at the Executive Council chambers of a government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital. In his charge after the oath-taking ceremony, Governor Fubara defended his recognition of the Victor Okojumbo-led assembly, saying it is a lawfully recognized legislative arm.
If it were a situation that Fubara is involved in anything or Fubara's associates, by now, Nigeria will be hot. There will be arrests. There will be statements. There will be counter this. There will be press conference. But because it is from the other side, but glory to God that they couldn't hide it. I've not been hearing anything. And I'm wondering, after how many weeks now, the Nigerian police is still not able to come out and make a statement about the attempt by one, I don't know what his name is, that tried to detonate a dynamite in front of Hotel Presidential. I'm still wondering why it has not happened. But if it's maybe any other thing that has to do with us, they will say, in fact, by now they should have even charged the person for terrorism. But you see, this God that I said that we are serving genuinely, this God that River State has been dedicated to by our predecessors. Because when they make statement, they say River State belongs to Christ, belongs to God. And that is the God that is saving us and lifting us.
So in Port Harcourt, River State High Court has issued an ex parte order of interim injunction restraining the Chief Judge of the State and the Clerk of the State House of Assembly from dealing with the Martin Amiwole-led House of Assembly. The order, which was issued by Justice Stevens Jumbo of the State High Court, also restrained the duo from dealing with Amiwole and 24 others as members of the Assembly and from acting on any resolution, article of impeachment and or any other communication from them. The suit filed by the Attorney General of the state and the Governor as first and second plaintiffs had Martin Amiwole and 24 others as first and second defendants. It also has Victor Okojumbo and others, the Chief Judge of the State, the Clerk of the State House of Assembly, and the People's Democratic Party as second sets of defendants. Furthermore, the court ordered all parties to maintain status quo ante litem as of July the 5th until the motion for an interlocutory injunction is heard and determined. An order is also made for substituted service of the originating and other processes in this suit on the first to 30th defendants by pasting the quarters opposite the former entity's headquarters of Aba, and that's the venue where the Martin Amiwole-led State Assembly sits. The court adjourned to July the 15th for a hearing. Let's talk labour matters now. And true to their words, members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, NASU, are out on the streets protesting against the non-payment of their salary arrears. In the nation's capital, Abuja, the workers occupied the entrance of the University of Abuja to demand for the release of their withheld salaries. The protest is in compliance with the directives from the Joint Action Committee of the two unions, which instructed state executive officers of the unions to mobilize the members for a one-day nationwide protest. A statement jointly signed by the president of NASU and SSANU over the weekend had accused the federal government of paying lip service to their demand for the release of 4 months' salaries withheld last year. The statement also stated that the one-day protest will be followed by a meeting of the leadership of the unions to decide the next line of action should the protest fail to get the attention of the government and make it act. Well, it's not just in the nation's capital, Abuja. In Kaduna State, which is just next to the FCT, members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University of Ahmadu Bello University also staged a peaceful protest within the campus to demand for the immediate release of their withheld salaries, carrying placards with different inscriptions. The aggrieved union members marched round the university, calling on the federal government to release their salary and implement other outstanding demands of the association.
You recall that in March we went on a one-week warning strike, demanding for the payment of our 4-month withheld salaries during the 2022 strike. Now, after the one-week warning strike, We were invited also by National Assembly to have a discussion with the leadership of our union. That discussion did not yield anything. The leadership of JAC at national level also wrote to the federal government requesting them to pay the backlog of the withheld salaries. To this very moment, the only response we got from the government was an invitation of our national leadership, of which at the end it was a deadlock. It was even unfortunate that the Minister of Labour, who was to head the sitting at that time, was not even at the meeting. This has shown that she has no regard for the unions. We are also workers in the university. Our colleagues in the other sector were paid 4 months, and that's why we are pushing and demanding for the payment of our own 4 months salary by the government. If at the end of this protest in the campuses there's nothing, there's going to be also a grand protest on the 18th at Abuja. Subsequently, if there's nothing from the government, we are afraid that we will have to go on an indefinite strike. And it is at this moment I want to also call on the government to consider the students that are in the campuses now, because they will be at the receiving end.
Well, Imo State, Southeast Nigeria is also not left out, where members of SSANU and NASU at the Federal University of Technology, Futo, also joined in the nationwide protest. The protest is also said to be taking place simultaneously in other states.
Solidarity forever. We are saying solidarity forever. For the union makes us one.
So there you have it, a picture of just what is taking place across the country. So while that is happening, Nigerians are also queuing for petrol across board. So it's quite a number of things to wrap your head around. But let's get some more insight on this SSANU and NASU protest. We're joined by the president of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Comrade Mohammed Haruna. Joins us live on the program. Well, Comrade, welcome to Lunchtime Politics. I see that you perhaps took a break just to have a conversation with us. So let's get into this. How is the conduct of this protest nationwide? Is this happening across all the states? I mean, we showed our viewers from the nation's capital to Kaduna to Owerri. So just how far region is this protest to begin with?
Well, thanks for having me, Kayode, and good afternoon to Nigerians. Like we had to mention, 2 days ago, this was avoidable if government had acted based on, the request we made, and this has been lingering. As I speak to you, about 9.
Well, Comrade Haruna speaking there momentarily, cut short by the connection. But we'll get back to Comrade Mohammed Haruna just to get a sense of how far-reaching this protest is. It appears as though he was going to say 19 states, but we'll wait to get confirmation from him. Well, there you see some of the workers protesting in Imo State. That's at the Federal University of Technology, Futo. And the list of their demands, quite simple, you may say. Payment of 4 months salary arrears, review of the 2009 agreement, payment of earned allowance as well. But we have Comrade Mohammed Haruna back. You were just going to make the point as to how many states are currently participating and then dovetail into the other issues. Comrade.
Yeah, as I speak to you, about 93 of our branches are taking, full part in this protest. And services have been grounded in all these universities across federal and state universities. And this is quite avoidable, like I mentioned earlier, if only government had acted and did the needful. So this is just like a warning to government that this arm of the university workers are also important and should be given, due regards. All we're asking for is just give us what the president has approved the 4 months withheld salaries, which he has said should be given to Nigerian workers in the universities. That is on the immediate one. And then subsequently, we've also asked for other things to continue, like the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement that has been lingering since 2017 that it started. And then also there was an approval of 50 billion naira, in the name of under allowances that was captured in the 2023 budget, and it never saw the light of the day. We don't know where the money went because it was in the budget and it was approved by the president also in 2023. And then also other sundry items that have been listed, in our own demands.
Right.
So, but as of today, we are protesting for the non-payment of our 4 months withheld salaries, which was paid to our counterparts in the academics. We are happy for them. At least they have gotten half. So we have not gotten at all.
So you say 93 branches nationwide. I thought you were going to say 19 states just before we lost you, but it's good you clarified that. So speak to us about what's then going on within the universities themselves. Do we have academic activities going on, or the lecture rooms are shut? Because it's a no-brainer. If you're out there, obviously you're not working. So what is happening to academic activities within those 93 branches, those schools?
Naturally, activities would have been grounded because there won't be electricity and there won't be water supply. And of course, the lecture halls also, even if they are open, they wouldn't have been cleaned, and habitable. So this is the implication of what is happening. And beyond that, administrative services, at the bursary, at the registry, and in the healthcare centers have also been grounded. So clearly, this is what is happening, and it's not anything to celebrate, but it is anything to show our anger towards what government has done to us in the name of insensitivity and also, injustice.
So just to be clear again, to put it in proper perspective, if you say 93 branches, does that include the state-owned universities as well? How is this 93 spread across board?
Yes, 93 is inclusive of states and federal universities.
Okay, so we have about 43 federal, 48 or thereabouts state universities. And as you said, light, that's electricity, water, and other sundry services are being withheld. So this is as good as a one-day strike.
Well, when you are protesting, you are striking. It means clearly, staying away from your work.
Yeah.
It means withdrawing or withholding your services. That is it, and it is sanctioned by the law. If you check the labor laws, it also gives the workers, employees, that right, inalienable right to withdraw their services when they feel they are shortchanged, when they feel, they are not being treated fairly, and this is like a prelude to what will come if nothing is done. This is just for one day. It's just for today. And by Thursday next week, that is the 18th, we will also do a grand protest in Abuja, meaning inviting all these branches from across the country to assemble in Abuja, where we will picket the office of the Minister of Education and the Minister of Labor, and by extension probably even go to the National Assembly, just to raise our voice, and because we are feeling that the president is not even aware of what is happening. Because what we have been told by the Minister of Education is that a memo has been written to him to draw his attention that there was an omission of the non-teaching, staff,
right.
From covering 3 unions, NASU, SSANU, and NAT. And it's quite a number, and they need his approval to release this money. That is the Ministry of Finance.
All right.
And since we are told that the president watches TV, reads newspapers, this is what his aides say. So we believe by now he would have seen that something needs to be done. And if clearly, truly, and the memo is on his table, we expect that as the president of the people and in a democratic society, he should be able to ask questions and then also do the needful.
Well, on a final note, I know that the ones feeling the brunt the most are, as I said, the students and parents who have their wards in public universities. We have plus 79 private institutions that are not affected. And it's been said that that's where you find majority of the children of the decision makers, the policy makers in any case. So there's a question as to how effective this will be if the pain is not being felt at that level. Add to that, the current petrol scarcity. So a lot of people are queuing for petrol. I think it was in the nation's capital. There's a protest causing a tailback of traffic. There's also traffic as a result of the fuel scarcity. So speak to the effectiveness of this. If, as I said, there are 79 private universities plus, who may not feel this? Well, looks like this is happening again. Just on a final note, to get the comrade's reaction to that one, we'll try to bring him in yet again. Comrade, if you can hear me, looks like the connection is playing a fast one on us. Yes, please kindly begin your reaction again. We're almost out of time. We have just about a minute. But please go ahead, comrade.
Yes, I said if there are a group of people or group of Nigerians that are feeling this pinch of the economic hardship, the university workers are topmost, because if you are fully aware that almost all our universities are sited way outside the cities, way outside the townships. That means they need to commute every day 10, 15, 20 kilometers. And this fuel issue, even before the artificial scarcity that has been put on us by the dealers of petroleum, workers in the universities have been having it, because more than half have packed their cars. And then all the promises made by government about CNG buses, about relief, in the name of, palliatives to be given of 35,000 naira, in addition to the salaries being paid, to cushion the effect, has stopped in the last 3 months. The 35% increase that was also approved by government is not anything to talk about. So we are the ones feeling this pinch much more than any other, because everything you get, you use it to transport yourself to go to work, and then you spend about 8 hours and then come back home, and then with your two hands, empty, meeting your family. And then worse still is that most of our workers who also live in rented apartments have had dislocations since the withdrawal of this 4-month salary, because the income has, stopped, and payment for the rent, becomes an issue. And then also those that are living on, drugs like diabetic drugs, hypertension, we have lost so many members because they cannot attend to their health needs.
Well, comrade, we have to anchor at this point.
Is that we also have children in these universities, and we cannot even pay their fees.
Indeed, quite important points you're making, but we really have to anchor at this point. I was even reminded that a lot of the children of policymakers are even outside the country, not just in private universities. So the effectiveness is what we'll wait to see. But we'd like to thank you so much and wish you the very best. We've been speaking with the President of Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Comrade Mohammed Haruna, after this nationwide protest, strike, call it that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And just before we go, the National Assembly Committee on Labour and Employment has given the assurance of the nation's parliament to speedily pass the amended bill on a new minimum wage once it's sent in by President Bola Tinubu. So quite a lot on the table of the president. The chairman of the committees in the Senate and the House of Representatives stated this during a retreat on labour reforms and the quest for a living wage organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, in the nation's capital, Abuja. And that's the program. Definitely a big day here in Nigeria, so stay with Channels Television for all of the breaking stories. I'm Kayode Okikelu. Goodbye.